Good morning. Saturday, November the 1st, and I'm on the ocean for the second time in my life, second time this trip. I'm on the ocean and sailing, and it is glorious. There you can see the sun's just above the horizon. I left Beaufort Harbour early, just before 6 o'clock, motored out of Beaufort Inlet in the dark, which is terrifying because there's probably 30 other boats doing the same thing, all of them bigger than me. But got out here and got the sails up just as the sun came up. Got the boat oriented heading towards the end of Cape Fear, which I have to round in order to get to either Charleston or Georgetown. And right now, the weather forecast shows Sunday winds being a little bit less favorable than they were in the last forecast. So right now, I think the goal is to try and get to Georgetown by tomorrow at noon or early afternoon. Yeah, so this morning, though, is just glorious. I'm going to turn around here. You can get an idea. I'm not terribly heeled over. We're sailing in about 8 to 12 knots of true breeze. I've got full main, full Genoa, and the boat's performing beautifully. We're averaging about 5.8 to 6.1 nautical miles an hour and close reaching. So it's super comfortable. I could do this all day. And if the wind does what it's supposed to do, it's going to get even better. It'll get to sort of a beam reach midday today and then start working its way around behind me, which means once I round Cape Fear, I can harden up, turn up into the wind to go to Georgetown, and it'll still be a pleasant sail. So let's hope that all happens. Stay tuned. Great day. This is super relaxing. I don't have to worry about other boats in a channel. I don't have to worry about steering a straight course. The autopilot is set to just hold me on this course, and it'll do this all day. It's going to have to. I got 87 miles to go just to get to the end of Cape Fear. Cheers. Good morning. It's Sunday, November 2nd, 7-ish, maybe 7:30 in the morning. And so that's about 24 hours, a little bit more than 24 hours I've been out now, 25 and a bit. Left Beaufort, North Carolina just before 6 yesterday. Nice sail during the day, motor sailing and sailing. And then at night, I was motor sailing with just the main up. The wind was sort of close reachy ahead and coming off my starboard side. And this morning it's now dead behind me. I've changed course by maybe 30 degrees to my starboard from I think 220 to 245 degrees. But the wind's had a strong shift, and so it's been quite rolly since about 1 o'clock when I rounded Frying Pan Shoal at Cape Fear. It's been quite rolly. However, I was able to get lots of really good sleep. Lots of 20-minute naps between 1 o'clock and 5 or 6 o'clock this morning. Time change, of course, takes an hour out of that, but so the funny story from last night is the Jays were playing in Game 7 of the World Series, and I had no internet no cell coverage from about 9 o'clock yesterday morning or 8 o'clock yesterday morning right through until I think it was the bottom of the 5th inning. as I got close to Cape Fear, I picked up 1 bar of coverage, so I was able to watch all the text messages and WhatsApp messages and such from friends, and have a quick chat with Angie and keep track of the ball game. I rounded the shoal, and in the bottom of the 9th, when the Jays were tied, I lost that last bar of cell coverage, so I had to radio the ship. There was a sailboat about 1.5 miles closer to shore than I was. American fella, clearly from the Carolinas, based on his accent, and he was able to tell me. He called me back about an hour later and said, "Yep, the bottom of the 11th, Jays lost." So that was my fun story. I will remember that. I remember where I was in the '92 and '93 World Series when they won. I'll remember where I was 2025 when they lost. So you can see beautiful sunrise this morning. Fairly calm seas. Just the main way out. And I think we're running about 1700 RPM, making about 6.5 knots. Angie's great at managing wind predictions on multiple apps and models, and she's pointed out that a couple of the models show some really strong winds about 11 o'clock this morning. So I'm hustling to try and get off the ocean. Georgetown is about 8 miles up a river called the Waccamaw River, I think that's what it's called. And so I'm going to try and get in there and get anchored before noon. I'm going to have to fight a strong tide, 2 knots of current coming down the river and hurting me. So it may be noon by the time I get there, but we'll stay a day or maybe a day and a half, I don't know, and then start continuing working our way south. This is Georgetown Inlet. Look at the current bubbling past that marker. Currently 2.5 knots of unfavorable current. That speedo says 6.3. But I know you can't see it because it's polarized. It says 3.4. All right, I am in Georgetown, South Carolina. Not Georgetown, Bahamas, but it's a Georgetown, so that's a start. And there's a beach. So really difficult entry into Georgetown Harbour. The timing was all wrong, and I kind of knew it, but my options were to stop here or carry on to Charleston, and I just didn't want to go another 55 miles and then risk having the same problem when I got to Charleston. So not to mention here, there's a really great anchorage like 100 feet from the town dock. It's a little historic town. Free waterfront dock for dinghies, so I'm going to try and anchor there and spend a day or two here waiting for some weather again. But so the entrance to Georgetown Harbour is just back here, maybe 2 miles, but there's a 3-knot current that I'm fighting. So that current and the wind direction were causing big waves coming in the inlet, which was, exciting, not scary, but it tossed around some stuff. Even when I think I've got stuff battened down, it's not good enough. But here's what I want to show you. So I am currently anchored on the side of the river, and you can see the water going by as though I'm moving. Right? I'll show you here at the back of the boat as well. Right? That is significant. That is significant current. 2.6 is what the paddle wheel sensor is showing on the boat. It's just wild. So one of my buddy boats recommended it when he saw that I had made it in. He said, what they did was just they anchored and waited for slack tide and then motored at full speed. And I thought, that's brilliant. That thought had never crossed my mind. So I pulled over to this little spot. I'm 100 yards from a beach. I'm going to make myself a breakfast sandwich and read my book a little bit and fill out my logbook. And then if the current starts to slow down, I might drop the dinghy and row ashore and go for a barefoot walk in the sand in November, and then come back and make it up to the town docks after lunch. Fun.